Alright, how's it going everybody? My name is Infamous Isaac and I'm here with another One Piece review video. And it's been a little bit. It's been about 2 months and it's not as big as the gap that I took from Amazon Lily to Impel Down because that was ridiculous. That was like almost 6 to 8 months, maybe even a year. But it's been almost 2 months, like I said, and that is mostly due to the fact that I was still doing college stuff, and also I kind of fell off of One Piece for a little bit. Not like the series, but like watching it consistently. I don't know what it was. I guess I just got into a slump. I don't know if it was some burnout. It felt like it because I did watch Impel Down to Marineford, post Marineford, and now I just got back into, or not just got back into, but more like I'm going into a whole nother arc that has like 40 to 50 episodes into it, or in it, excuse me. So it kind of did get on me, or not kind of, it did get on me, and it took a lot longer to finish this one. So at the end of the video, I'll tell you guys what I'm planning to do on it, going forward with this, because the arcs are only gonna get longer. Like Punk has there's like 50 something episodes, or not 50, like 48 to 50 around there. Dressrosa being 115, Zoe being not that long, probably like 30, Whole Cake being 95, and Wano like going on forever. So it's gonna, I'm gonna have to find a way to get these arcs done, but while not burning myself out, since I've already seen these. But that's for later. Right now, I'm here to talk about the the time skip where it starts. So from when we see Luffy pick his hat back up to them going to Saba the Archipelago again, meeting all the Marines, regrouping and all that, and then Fishman Island. But for the most part, it's gonna be Fishman Island. But without further ado, let's begin without further delay. So post post time skip starts. You have Luffy and everybody gathering. They're all going back to Sabaody Archipelago 2 years later, and they're all gathering. Right, they're going to Sabaody. We see all of them come in one after another. They all come at different times because of the islands being different places and all that. And long story short, they all meet. Rayleigh's there with Shaki. Hachi isn't there actually. Hachi and Kami aren't there, but they're at Fishman Island, so it don't even matter. And yeah, we just basically get reintroduced to the characters, see their character traits once again, how they've changed their character designs, all that, if they've gotten stronger or not. And they have this mini like fake Straw Hat pirate arc going on in between it, where there's imposters, excuse me, not posers, who are trying to act like them, make a name for themselves, get a huge crew, and just ride off of the fact that Luffy was in Marineford, or at Marineford. And I didn't like it, honestly. From remembering what I remember, like 2016, I didn't like the fake Straw Hat thing. I thought it was cool that the voice actors kind of like switched up. So like, let's say Zoro, right? You know Zoro, deep voice, the Onigiri and all that, and then you have Luffy with kind of like the higher pitched voice, like Suke and all that. So their voice actors switched for the fake Straw Hat character. So like uh Chopper, I don't remember who he voiced. Sanji I think was voiced by actually I don't even remember. I don't even remember. But if you look it up, you will find like who they switched, because they were not the same people who voiced the characters that we know and love. But yeah, overall, I didn't really like the Straw Hat thing. I just thought it was boring, honestly. I wanted to get into Fishman Island more than I wanted to see them reintroduce themselves and all that, because I've already seen these characters. Like for me, it's on a personal case because I I've already seen these characters post time skip. I watched post time skip first when I got back into One Piece, so I already know what they can do. So for me, I don't care. But for some people, who never watched the show, of course they'd care. It's just for me, I don't. So if you liked it, I'm not gonna say anything on it. Of course you would like it because it's you haven't seen these characters, or they haven't seen each other in 2 years. You get to see all the changes that happen. It's fire. It's just for me seeing it again. It's not interesting. But you also have the Navy showing up again with I forgot that person's name. Sentamaru. There you go, Sentamaru. Seeing how the Navy's changed up after Marineford, all that. It's that part's interesting. I won't say it. That part's interesting. Seeing all of them, seeing the new rookies was kind of okay. Well, not kind of. Excuse me. It was okay. It wasn't anything outstanding. The Return to Saladin was just all right to me. It was all right. If I had to give it a rating, I would give it like a 5. It was just okay introduction for me at least. But with that out of the way, they finally go down to Fishman Island, and we finally get to see what the island looks like after like. So let me tell you, right? They've been talking about Fishman Island ever since like the beginning of the show. Like there's no there's hints of Fishman Island being mentioned even back where Arlong was still a major villain, a major threat. But they didn't talk about going to Fishman Island until like Annie's Lobby, like the end of Annie's Lobby, because Thriller Bark was a detour. Uh, Sabaody wasn't a detour. That was how they were supposed to get to Fishman Island. They were gonna get their paint or their ship coated and go down there, and everything else after that was a detour. So it took like Eddie's Lobby ended in 2007. So it took 4 to 5 years in our like real life time to get to Fishman Island. So we finally get to see what all the hubbub is about, as to why like this place is so cool. And obviously because it's fishmen, like fishmen, mermaids, all different types of races in Fishman Island, like because of the species being different. And you get to see what it's like, new island, new faces, first trip with the reunion being done. It's the first trip ever since then, so it's gonna be fire. And we get there, we get to see all the mermaids. We get to see Mermaid Cove. They get to go through the the sea that is in between Fishman Island. So all the monsters, krakens, like sea kings, everything. You get to see all them. Have a mini run-in with Karibu. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Slickback, Mud Power, Mud Devil Fruit. He's whack. That's all you guys really need to know about. And we're going through it, all that. They, excuse me, because Jinbei already knew Luffy and all that. He has some notoriety. Well, he has a lot of notoriety in Fishman Island. So, knowing that Luffy would come to Fishman Island, you're like, oh yeah, when you get here, talk to me, meet me, and we can talk, whatever. Things happen. Next thing you know, the Straw Hats get arrested, and we find out there's gonna be a revolt happening. Well, we found out like earlier, but and the leader of this is Horty Jones, and there's another person, Vanderdecken. Oh, excuse me, Vanderdecken. And they team up. They throw a revolt to overthrow the Fishman royalty, royal bloodline, I guess, if that's what you call it. And now Luffy's just like, oh, okay. They have our crew. Jinbei's like, let me tell you about some lore real quick. And so he tells them about the lore of Fishman Island with Queen Otohime, Fisher Tiger, all that, the racism going on in Fishman Island, the prejudice, the injustice, the oppression, everything. Like Fishman Island has, or not Fishman Island, but fishmen and women and mermaids and all of them have terrible, terrible relationships with humans. And you could see that either way, all the way back in Salvi Archipelago, where mermaids were being sold at the auction house. Like that in itself does not bode well to show the relationships between the two races, or excuse me, species. So we got hints of that there, but we get to see it on full display here. Like fishmen and humans do not like each other. For the most part, do not like each other. It's all case by case, but for the most part, it's not good relations. And Queen Otohime was one advocating for good relations and all that, even going with celestial dragons to have like a treaty be formed or whatever. And we learn all this lore, and everybody goes to the plaza that everything is being held at because they kidnapped the king, they overthrew the castle, and now they're about to execute the king. Or well, excuse me, Hordy and Vanderdecken are gonna execute the king. Vanderdecken is somewhere else. He's trying to marry Shirahoshi, which is the King Neptune. That's his daughter, and Queen Otohime's daughter. But Queen Otohime is dead, so it's just like no mother. Basically, that's it. That's all going on. They the Straw Hats show up. They have their crew with them now because they some of them split off to go there, others split off to go to the plaza. Everybody's there, and the beef starts. It's Luffy versus Hordy and everybody else in the plaza fighting. It was beef, and we learn more and more lore. We learn a lot more lore. I'm not gonna go over it right now because it is extensive. Only thing I will talk about is just Shirahoshi being or Poseidon. There you go, Poseidon. uh, Horty in reality not having much of a motive except just carrying on the bitterness and hatred that some fishmen have, like Arlong, against humans. Like he's only carrying the torch. He has no experience with humans being bad, like or being scum against fishmen. And the only real experience is with the celestial dragon. But even then, he wasn't there, or at least he wasn't as impacted by it. He's always had this hatred. So it's just like, okay, we get to see Luffy destroy, or not destroy, but uh, no, there you go, that's the name of it. He almost bodies the Noah. He beats the Hordy. Vanderdecken almost dies. Things are going crazy. We get to see the Sea Kings that Hirohoshi can summon, and yeah, basically threat solved. I'm skimming over it very very fast. I'll talk about it more later, but yeah. So that's the end of the menace right now. Now we're at like 40 episodes into the arc. And as things are winding down, the banquet is happening, the usual banquet after saving an island. And Robin is asking about Joy Boy, Neptune is giving some information, everybody's having a banquet. Uh, Jinbei is informing Luffy about like, oh, what's happening in the world right now. Aokiji isn't a Navy Admiral anymore. Akainu just got promoted to Fleet Admiral since Sen Goku retired. And the Fishman Island is no longer protected by Whitebeard since the crew split up. Now it's protected by Big Mom, which is one of the four emperors, but not like a Whitebeard where he did it out of the kindness of his heart. Big Mom's doing it because of a business deal. And now there's four emperors, like four different, well not four different, but the void that Whitebeard left was filled up. So now it's Shanks, who was already there, Big Mom, who was already there, Kaido, who was already there, and Blackbeard, who just took up the spot. Because of the devil fruit that he possesses, how big of a bounty he has on his head, and all the devil fruit powers that his crew is amassing. Like, the goal for him is to get more devil fruit users. Excuse me. Ah, is to get more devil fruit users. So we're learning all this lore, and the next day comes, we see Karubu again show up with the mud powers. He tries to kidnap Princess Shirahoshi. Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji stop him. And wait just a second, hold on. I just got like a repressed memory from what's it called? What is it? Like I got a repressed memory of Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji in the castle, right? And they're looking for Karibu, like they're looking for the treasure and all that, and they're inside the castle, but in reality that happens outside. So I don't know what I saw. Like I feel like since I'm watching it on Hulu, some things might be cut out. Like they probably didn't cut out anything, but just like maybe like an episode or something. But I don't know. Like it came to me like 6 years ago. I watched that and I remember that. Like I I don't know. Super weird. Super weird. But yeah, so basically, he tried to steal a lot of treasure. He did get away with some treasure, but he heard Robin's conversation with Neptune about Poseidon, and so he went to go kidnap her. Luffy intercepted him because he felt like a rat was in amongst the banquet. They kicked him, punched him away. Now he's all the way back at Mermaid Cove, and Nami's like, "What are you doing? Go get him. The treasure is ours because Neptune just gave it to us." They go down there, they find him, and then they meet somebody important or two people. They meet Peckham's. What in the world? Oh, that's my house. I thought that was Minecraft. Yeah, they meet Peckham's and Mr. Eggs Benedict. I do not remember his name. He's an egg guy. He's from the Long Arm tribe, or excuse me, Long Leg tribe. I don't remember his name. And I'll talk about them a little more later, as I'm just talking about it in general. But they're from Big Mom's crew, and like I mentioned, Big Mom kind of protects his territory. And long story short, Luffy ate all the candy at the banquet since there's a candy factory here. Big Mom calls and she's like, "Where's the candy at?" And Luffy's like, "I ate it." And he's like, "All right, let me give you this treasure." And she's like, "No, I don't want treasure as compensation." And he's like, "All right, when I get to the new world, I'm gonna kick your butt." And she's like, "Oh, okay, I'll be waiting." And now they have beef. But the Peckhams and Mr. X Benedict did take the treasure anyways because they were like, "Well, we'll take it as compensation for right now, but you should not have done that." And they leave. And now they all regroup. They get the ship coded. They're all saying goodbye. Nami's furious that they gave away the treasure, but whatever. Usopp and Chopper are literally in tears because the beef with Big Mom started an emperor. They like you do not want to mess with an emperor, bro. It's legit like messing with the government. It's disgusting. It's terrifying. But yeah, they're all getting ready. The Minister of the Left, which is one of the royal, well, not royalty, but like one of the main governing parts of Fishman Island, they're really important. It gives Nami a log pose so they can have a better time navigating through the New World. Because Fishman Island is located, I think, around the Grand Line or no, the Red Line, yeah. Uh, Fishman Island is located near there. And so once you get past Fishman Island, you go to the New World. And the New World is chaotic. It is dangerous. It is life threatening. If you thought the East Blue and all that was crazy, the New World is disgusting. Oh man, excuse me. But yeah. So long story short, they say goodbye. Shirahoshi starts crying. They have a sweet moment with the crew and all of them. They leave. Then during them like trying to leave the island, they meet a bunch of laboons, or at least like whales that look like laboon, and they all have scars too. And we get a sweet moment with Brook, him thinking that they're all laboon, but they're not. They're just family relatives to him, and so he starts singing Bink Sake, fire moment, super fire, and once they get out of the sea, they end up at the New World, where everything is chaotic. It is pure pandemonium. And that's the end of Fishman Island. The next, well, there's excuse me, four filler episodes in between this. And then after that, it's the very beginning of Punk Hazard, where they get close to the island. So I'm just gonna stop it here, like the summary. I should not have summarized it. I just somehow ended up doing it, and I couldn't stop myself. But whatever. This video is gonna be long anyway, so let me just talk about the arc as a whole. So this arc in general, the beginning for me was kind of well, not, I gotta stop using that. The beginning was alright to me. We were getting introduced to the island, learning about all the people here, different types of races and species and all that, how the country operates, everything, meeting the royalty, meeting new characters, meeting Madame Charlie, re-meeting Kami and Hachi and all that. It was cool. It was cool. But the weak part for me was the bad guy, Hordy and Vanderdecken. Those guys are some genuine jobbers. They they did not interest me whatsoever. Like Hordy interests me more, but that was more because of the energy steroid, like what it was actually doing to his body. And Vanderdecken was just a pedophile, legit a pervert and a pedophile. Yeah. And he even mentioned it in the show. Like Vanderdecken met Shirahoshi when she was 6, and he wanted to marry her. And then his two goons were like, uh, Vanderdecken saw, but you can't do that. She's 6. You're like in your 30s. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. I can't marry a child. Oh well, I'll just wait until she's older. And it's just like, oh, Decken, you're so nasty. What's wrong with you, bro? That's so disgusting. Like, so that already was just like, ew, man. Like, obviously, it's a different time. It's pirate era. But even then, that's still just disgusting. It doesn't change the fact that looking at it now, it's just like, oh, that's not a good look for you, Decken. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna look at Oda and be like, oh, that's disgusting. But like, I'm definitely looking at Vanderdecken like, yo, you are already on the bad list, on the disgusting list of characters. And Hordy himself was just like learning about his motives and all that. Like learning that he was just carrying the torch didn't make him a better villain, but it made him a little more interesting for me. But before then, he was just really boring to me. I was not interested in him at all. His motives were interesting, like the racism, trying to end or trying to like take over what's it called? Fishman Island, the royalty, because they want coexistence with the humans while the new Fishman or the Neo Fishman pirates and the I forgot the name of the district, but you know, the Fishman district actually is literally what it's called. Like they don't want coexistence and all that. It's just like, okay, that's interesting. That motive is interesting, but the character himself wasn't. He was legit just walking, I am bitterness and hatred for humans. I hate them. I want to kill them. And it makes sense why he is that because of what happened at the end, but at the same time it doesn't change the fact that I just didn't find him interesting. I thought Vanderdecken was weird and boring, and Hordy was just lackluster. Not the best villain that we've seen. Like compared to uh Crocodile or Akainu or villains that we're going to see like Big Mom or Kaido or Doflamingo. Like seeing all those villains compared to Hordy is just like Horty feels like a an early One Piece villain, you know, but with a big field to play in. Because obviously it's a whole country involved, but he just feels simple in the same way that like Kuro felt simple, same way that Don Krieg felt simple. Like it just he didn't feel up to par to the other villains, is what I'm trying to say. And then there's the middle part of Fishman Island where they're being kidnapped or not kidnapped, they're overtaking the castle, and Zoro, Usopp, and Brook are kidnapped, while Luffy, Sanji, and all of them are trying to regroup. And it's just like this part, it just got really boring to me. One, some like from the start of when they go to the castle, to when Jinbei starts telling the flashback, it was super boring to me. I was I was struggling to get through this part of the story, and whether it's because it's bad or I was burnt out, I was just not interested. And that influenced how I looked at the rest of it, you know. I that section, like, it reminded me of Thriller Bark section, where for the most part Thriller Bark, like all the way up to a certain point, was just not interesting to me. And Fishman Island was kind of the same, was the same way for to an extent. It wasn't as bad as that section, but it was definitely getting there with how bored I was in some parts. Where legit, like, I would watch an episode and I wouldn't be able to finish it. I watched 7 minutes into the episode and I was done. I was just done. And then there's after the flashback, which, you know, I enjoyed. After the flashback when they start storming the plaza and they're overthrowing the government and they have everybody stomping on Odahime's face and all that. That section was really boring to me as well. It doesn't get interesting to me until the Straw Hats show up and when the beef actually starts happening. But at that point, it's just like it's almost done. So I'm just here for the climax and see how it goes. So for the parts that I did like, or for the parts that I didn't like, it was the middle section between when they were at the castle to where Jinbei told the story. That's where like things get interesting. And when they're taking over the castle or the plaza, taking over Fishman Island and the invasion starting, all the way up until Luffy shows up. Those were not interesting to me. Then you have the good parts, which are like, you know, the flashback itself. That flashback was amazing. I loved it. and then you have the rest of Fishman Island, the climax where they're all at the plaza. That was the best part of Fishman Island for sure. Like just the rest of it, the end of the arc was awesome. All the setup and everything for the end of the arc made it pretty good. But it's just the other two parts are like one's good, well, one's okay, and one's just boring. The beginning being okay, and the middle, already being boring. But excuse me, like overall, music in Fishman Island, obviously it's the same music from One Piece, but they have To the Grand Line playing, and whenever that plays, there immediately gets me teary-eyed. So I like that regardless. The characters, the Straw Hats being the same normal people that they are. No real character development for them except for Nami, actually. Nami's character development in this arc was pretty good because of her meeting one of the Arlong pirates that isn't Hachi, but in Jinbei, and realizing that Jinbei was really close to Arlong and their history and all that, and her being able to forgive him, even though obviously like Jinbei didn't do anything to her, but it's the fact that he could have stopped Arlong. So that's why he's forgiving himself, and he could have killed himself. He was gonna do like Harikiri on himself, or seppuku, excuse me. I don't remember which one it's called, but you know, her being able to forgive him and realizing like, yo, this is Luffy's friend. Luffy vouches for him. I'll trust him. Like that. That was nice. Nami doesn't get a lot of character growth moments a lot, or anymore, but that one was nice. That one was nice. I like the. Actually, let me keep talking about the characters. Yeah. Besides that, most of the Straw Hats are the same. It's just showing, hey, I got stronger. Let me prove that I deserve to be on the crew and all that. Blah blah blah, blah. This, that, and the fourth. It wasn't testing their limits to the most part, except for Luffy. Luffy was literally on death's door, bro, and not because of Horty being strong, but legit he was just losing blood. He was disadvantaged from the very beginning of that fight, fighting in water against a fish man, being a devil fruit user, and getting bitten twice in the same spot so the wound reopened. Like my man was just losing from the very beginning, but he somehow still won. Like if it was on ground, Luffy would have won regardless. He had no steroids amplifying his power. It was just him versus Hardy, and he would have won easily. But in the water, it's a different story, especially considering the negative amp or the negative the debuffs that he has in water. Excuse me. So that was pretty fire. Shirahoshi, excuse me. Her story was pretty good. I like it. I like her character development at the end of it. Her starting not to be a crybaby anymore, being a strong leader and all that. Oda Hime, I liked her character. Fisher Tiger, I liked him. I like Jinbei and Arlong's relationship, the beef between them, even if it wasn't positive. Neptune was fun. He was fun. Yeah, Fukaboshi, who is Shirahoshi's brother, and then the other two brothers, Mamaboshi and something. I forgot the other one's name. Fukaboshi was the main one. That's the only one that really matters. The other two have moments, but they're not really important. Fukaboshi's the most important one, and he's fire too. But and then you have Fishman Island as a whole. Their character development, like it's like a Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, where you feel New York, like New York itself is a character. Fishman Island at a certain point, it's its own character, and it's fire. I love that One Piece does that a lot, where the island itself feels like its own character, and it's super sick because Ichihiro Oda does that really well. But characters aside, we have the story. I feel like the story was a 6 out of 10. At its best, it was an 8. At its worst, it was a 4. It was all right going into good territory, but it wasn't the best way to start post time skip. Dealing with the fact that post time skip started with Sabaody, and I didn't like that too much. And Fishman Island was just okay to good to me. And like overall, it was just a 6. Not not bad at all. Not bad at all. Definitely redeemed himself with the ending, but not the best I've seen from One Piece. It is okay, middle of the road. This is all right. And you have everything that's the this arc is trying to set up. You have like because I watched pre time skip One Piece 2016. I watched post time skip One Piece 28 or 2020, and now I'm rewatching the whole show in its entirety. I know what's gonna happen with the Tamate box, which just has a bunch of explosives in it, and with Peckham's and Eggs Benedict. Like I know what's gonna happen with them. So seeing all the setup with these characters and Big Mom, it's just like, yo, this was planned all the way back in 2012. While in 2018 you have Whole Cake Island happening, like 6 years of planning. And that's so fire to me that it actually paid off and it isn't just an empty threat. Like this legit is important story point. And if I was a writer, if I was writing like all of this, if I was just pen to paper, fire coming from the pen, from the quill, like I would not remember that plot point. I wouldn't. I would have to ask some of my others who are fans who read the like, oh, all right, what's going on? Like kind of like with uh, I forgot his name, but the person who writes JoJo, Araki. There you go, Araki. How sometimes he just forgets some plot points, like with powers or characters or whatever. Like with Echihiro Oda, it's just so amazing to me that he remembered that plot point in the future and how they set it up and how important these characters actually are. Like it's no wonder that there's so many One Piece characters in the show. And obviously, you have your Nami clones and whatever. You have your blatant I'm a strong guy with a devil fruit. It sucks. Or I'm just a big beefy guy, no legs. But the amount of individual characters is impressive. Like you could have all those individual characters replace all the non-named faces and you could still have some left. Like it's ridiculous. But it's impressive to me how he does it, how he really does it. Like jeez, yeah. The setup for the next arc is so fire. Fishman Island sets up for Whole Cake Island, and everything after that I'll talk about later when we get to it. But yeah, overall, story I thought it was okay. Characters I thought were normal as usual, nothing out of the ordinary. Music is the same as always. Um, Fights. Oh, the fights. I forgot to mention the fights. Yeah. There aren't that many, and even then, some of them are just okay. Brooks' fight was pretty good. I did like Brooks' fight. He was just saucing on this dude, the invisible guy. He came out to ball, bro. We ball in type movement, and Brook really showed it. Like he was saucing. Luffy's fight was pretty good. It's honestly the best one. Zoro's fight was okay. Sanji and Jinbei's fight was okay. Nami didn't have a fight. She was just fighting no name bad guys. Uh, what's this dude's name? Usopp had a decent fight. Chopper had a okay fight, and Robin's fight was, I don't remember it. I remember her doing clutch. That's it. It was pretty fire, but that's basically it. Horty's fight though was definitely the best one. As much as I didn't, as much as I found him or as much as I found him an uninteresting character, excuse me, his fight was pretty cool with how many people it took to take down this menace. With Fukaboshi, with Shirahoshi, with the two other princes, excuse me, with Luffy himself, like people were really going all out to stop him. And then you have the army themselves trying to throw the bubble onto Noah, which is a giant ship falling down onto Fishman Island since it's underwater. Like it was sick. It was super sick. All the plot points coming together at the end to bring up this tension. Like it was real tension. It was legit tension. It wasn't artificial. It wasn't like, oh, why is this a problem? How did we get here? Like no, this was tension caused by the bad guys. It was real tension, and I felt it with Noah, with Horty, with their army, all that with everything. It was fire. But yeah, to put a bow on this, it's a 6 out of 10. That's what I would rate it. And yeah, that's gonna be it for Fishman Island. Next, we're gonna be going to Punk Hazard, and I'm gonna be taking a little break from this. I'm gonna be taking a little break from One Piece because I caught up to where I was when I watched during 2016. So that's one half of One Piece already done, and the rest of it now I'm gonna be watching the 2020 side of what I was watching, and that is gonna be a doozy. Like I said, it's really long. So I'm gonna have to prepare myself. And to do that, I'm just gonna take a break from One Piece for a little bit, and I'm gonna watch maybe like a slice of life or two. Like I'm gonna watch Spy X Family. I'll talk about that. But I'm also gonna be doing something with Reaper where he already started watching Bleach, and I've watched Bleach before. One of my favorite shonens. And I thought, I'm gonna rewatch Bleach regardless. So why not just watch it together, you know? And so I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna make some videos on Bleach. I'll go through each arc when I get to them, and I'll talk about them. I'll give my opinion on it. And this is all in preparation for when A Thousand Year Blood War comes out in October. So it's gonna be pretty fire. But for One Piece, I'll uh I'll definitely when I make the next video, it should not take 8 months. Is what I'm trying to say. It may take a little longer than what it did now, maybe like a month to 2 months, maybe even 3 months. But since it's Punk Hazard, it shouldn't take that long. But that's all up for time to tell. That's all for God to write in His plan. But for the next video, Punk Hazard may take a lot longer. And for Dressrosa and Whole Cake Island, it's gonna take a while. I will not lie to you guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs, or well, ladies and germs, all that, any gender that you prefer to be called. It's going to take a while for those two because they are just back-to-back bangers that are like over 200 episodes worth of content. Like those two arcs alone constitute like all of original Naruto. It's disgusting. So it's gonna take a while for that. But I hope you all are here this. I hope you all are here to see it. But anyways, thank you all for watching as always. I know this is a long one. I definitely had a lot to say about it, but I could have condensed it. So I apologize for that. But I hope you all enjoyed the same. And check this out, I have Goku over Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I made that recently. He's fire. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. Stay tuned for what's about to come for the channel with all the different series, all the videos that I'm gonna make. You know, I may not be consistent as I used to be, but I'm still trying to put out the best content that I'm trying to. So I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching as always. If you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing. If you don't like it, don't like. And if you like the content, then why not subscribe to see anything that might come out of the channel? May not be consistent, like I said, but it is here when it comes out. And what's it called? More One Piece content coming soon. Bleach content coming soon. A Boruto video might be coming soon. So yeah, get ready for all that. Get ready for all that. But yeah, as always, hope you all have a good rest of your day whenever you're watching this. And I'll check y'all out. As always, peace.